The problem is Tunney's ego doesn't fit with his genius. Yeah, he's figured out some of this, but basically, he's just figured out enough to get them into trouble. When one of the technicians comes in after they've hit 64 degrees Fahrenheit, the promise was that he was going to drop the temperature in the building by 10 degrees. She says that she can't shut it down. It's going to just keep right on dropping. They can't just cut the power to it. The system draws power from the bridge. And the containment for the building can't be turned off while the bridge is on as a fail-safe, as in it's failing to keep them safe. He thinks the system has been tampered with, and so that means...
Mr. Tunney would like a word. Haha.
Is he a robot? Because if that's Tunney's invention, I would be impressed. Yeah, Rodney muttering makes it look like he sabotaged the system, so finally, he skirts the line of what his security agreement would allow, since everyone is going to die otherwise. He didn't mess with the system. He didn't try to Photoshop pictures of Tunney so he's holding dicks either. No, what he was doing on the computer was trying to find the paper that he wrote on the space bridge that all of this is based on. He says enough stuff that Tunney realizes that, he really did steal McKay's idea and disregarded the warnings about the danger of it by assuming that without exotic particles being generated, that it should be perfectly safe. So Rodney looks it over and, not safe at all. In fact, it's clearly not even working properly. The draw from the heat sink is irregular, and that could be unpredictable. Like that. Either Victor Freeze has shown up or something wonky is going on with the system. It's drawing heat from a source inside of the zone and picked this schmuck. He's not dead, but he's not good. And this isn't going to be an isolated incident. But the big cheese doesn't want to call the SGC just yet, as they won't just shut down the problem, they'll shut down the project. I credit them this. His motivation is not about money. His motivation is actually because this has a promising chance of averting climate change, and so that's why he's so committed to it. I mean, yeah, he's still putting people just as much in danger. I only mean that I'm praising the creativity of the writers for not going for the simplistic, but what about my dollars? Why, I may only have $1 billion left by the time this is done. Well, since they don't have the means to contact anyone, cell phones won't get through the barrier, McKay and Tunney plan to get to work. But Keller points out that they have a room full of geniuses that could probably help crack this problem.
Why don't we just destroy it? Just bash it apart.
Because that could create a tear in our space-time?
Well, anything can sound dumb if you say it with that tone. They work on it, but unfortunately, having a room full of McKays tends to lead to a lot of arguing. Keller has to finally step in to get them to work together on solving the problem. And for an encore, she gets Kramer to realize that his goal is supposed to be saving the planet with the intent of saving lives. So the right thing is probably to, save lives by calling the SGC and having them get these people out of here before they die. Well, having come around to her point of view, he goes to turn the phones back on, except the freeze lightning has taken out the phone system. Nobody can call out now. Damn. A waste of a perfectly good speech. By now it's down to 36 degrees Fahrenheit, and the containment field is weakening. And with all the super cold air meeting the hot desert air, it's going to create a vortex. One that will then be fed by the continued drawing in of more heat into the heat sink. But the one good part is that if it's thinner, then a cell phone might be able to get through. So Keller goes off to handle that, while Bill Nye says everyone concurs with Rodney's plan to take this thing down, but it's going to mean things will get colder and there's going to be more freeze lightning. It's dangerous, but it's their best chance. Keller's attempt to get through isn't enough to actually talk to anyone, and then freeze lightning is flying everywhere. Tunney is panicking. Even Bill Nye is starting to worry, so Tunney shuts it down prematurely. Building on that success, Keller calls on the radio to say that the door's been frozen shut and the water pipe got ruptured. She's soaked to the skin, underdressed, and the temperature is close to freezing. She's in danger of dying of hypothermia in the desert in the middle of the day. At least it'd be a rare achievement. As the field collapses and tornadoes start forming, Rodney hits upon the answer. Get the bridge to collapse by drawing on the power that's keeping it open, by opening a second bridge. If you do that, the power draw is going to be too great, then they'll both collapse. Rodney gets the process started, but Keller calls and says her hypothermia is getting worse, and the people that are supposed to be on the way to save her are taking way too long. There's so many obstacles in the way they can't get through. Well, Rodney says screw it and prepares to go and do that himself, even when Tunney is so desperate for Rodney to fix this that the egomaniac admits that McKay is smarter than him.
I know.
Oh, this is outrageous. I mean, right when we need him the most, he puts it on me, and I'm supposed to be the one who's going to do this? I get home! Man up!
While Rodney chops through the door with an axe, Tunney and Bill Nye finish the program and activate the second bridge, solving that problem. He resuscitates her, and she kisses him, confesses her love for him. He already did that to her, only he doesn't remember it on account of he had space dementia at the time, remember? He and Keller have a nice talk about things on the private jet back, and eventually comes around to seeing that, yeah, maybe she's right about some things, and that is the perfect moment for them to join the Mile High Club. The episode's conclusion of the Rodney Keller romance plot shows the pair of them acting like two kids trying to get away with something they know they shouldn't, but just don't care. This is a fitting way to view the episode itself. It's an episode trying to get away with so much nonsense, even by Stargate standards. But it does so in a way that just leans into its absurdity without being self-parody. The inclusion of capable performers and guest stars helps with that. It helps add to that atmosphere of fun. The episode even implies that Stephen Hawking is here with a wheelchair electronic voice scientist seen from behind. This allows them to get away with what it's trying to pull off. Just a very silly vehicle for Rodney, Keller, and the other performers to just do their thing. But besides the culmination of the romance, there is one other serious moment I want to call out for you. You saw Rodney's response to Tunney's admission that he's smarter. And Hewlett's delivery of the response shows what a talented actor he is. Just 2 words, and it says everything. I don't think there's anything Rodney wants more right now than to have the validation of his peers. They all think that he's some washout loser recluse, and here he has a chance finally to show them what he's really capable of. He's given an opportunity on a silver platter. Yet the choice he makes is no choice at all. He will put the answer in a less capable set of hands. He will allow a charlatan to take credit both for his original work and his own solution to this crisis. But he will not risk Keller even for a few minutes that it would take for him to do this himself. Rodney's ego may be big, but in the clutch, it can't hold a candle to the size of his heart.
All hail the Overlord! All hail the Overlord!
Dinosaurs? Excuse me? Do they have living dinosaurs back there? Because I'll sign this if he's brought dinosaurs back to life.